Alright, we're going to show you some of the amazing progress that's been made on this side of the building, and it's looking awesome. But to be honest, this is actually one of the most exciting things we're doing with the new building. And before I show you what that very exciting thing is, I've got to give you a little bit of backstory. So a couple of episodes ago, you'll know that I made a video saying I was stopping my commentary in Drift Masters because in 2025, I'm going to try to become a professional drifter. It's been a dream of mine since I started 15 years ago in drifting. I've never given it my full go, but I realize how difficult the game is and how much effort I've got to put in, and there's a couple of things I need to do. You'll have watched that we've got the Solstice, which is essentially a version that's much simpler of this for practice behind the wheel in the off season. But last year, we had a Drift Masters team, and our driver Connor Falvey managed to get Rookie of the Year at 17 years of age. He started the season at 16 years of age. It got me thinking, how did Connor Falvey do what he did? I mean, James Dean won his first pro event before Connor Falvey was born. So how did he catch up so fast with the rest of the talent in Europe? And that came down to one single secret weapon, and that was the simulator. So our friends, the sim consultants, have come on board as a partner with Drift Games because they heard my cry of I need help to get better at drifting. And they said, we've got just the thing for you. And these guys aren't just an online retail store, they are the business. They go all the way from planning out your simulator to building it to then after you bought it support to make sure it is exactly what you did. And what I realized with this car is that you can have all the gear, but if you don't have the right setup, you've got no idea. Now I need somebody, because I'm not a super technical guy when it comes to simulators, they kind of confuse me. So they're gonna help me through the journey. You guys are gonna see it. Now, this car is going to be replicated as a simulator, meaning that I can do as many laps as I want without spending any more, because I don't have to have fuel, I don't have to have tires, and I can also go to all the tracks we're going to use next year before we get there. Now, they've brought it in. I think this is it here. And yeah, I mean, it's going to need some work. Ronan, Rob, hello boys.
Hello.
So this is Ronan and Rob from Sim Consultants. Welcome to Drift Games. We've partnered up because I need a little bit of help to get better at drifting, and I know I need it, and you guys are the guys to go to, the specialists, right? The consultants. I'm going to go straight off the bat and say, we haven't started well. This steering wheel is definitely not going to be great for drifting, and the rig is quite nice, but no handbrake.
Well, I think, Dave, you know well that this is not your one, so we've got much more of a custom item just for you guys.
I was a little joking there, because they asked me a lot of very interesting questions over the last 2 weeks about the rig that they're going to build to replicate this car, and I believe it's here.
It is indeed.
And I haven't seen it, and I know some of the boys passed it earlier on, and there was a lot of wait till you see this. So I'm not wasting any more time. I want to see this thing.
Let's go.
Oh wow! Oh my goodness! It's got the livery and everything. You guys did this in like a week.
Lots of help from Jay, of course, on Precision Tints on the graphics.
Shout out to Jay.
Everything else is all custom built, ready for you guys, and we've done what we can based on the images of the Supra.
Because they asked me for loads of interior images of the Supra. I was like, why would they need that? But now I see. So we've got the same livery. We got the DGSJ, the Superjet livery on there. The nice little military bit. Oh, look at this! Even has my name up here. And the handbrake is gold.
IRP as well, exact same as in the car.
That's the exact handbrake.
Yeah.
Do you put any handbrake on these?
Well, it's a custom job, so it's a Husingveld handbrake that we've modified so that it's matches what you have. We've tried to get the positioning of everything as close as we can.
From what we can get in the videos.
Yeah, from what we can get in the videos. So what we really need to do now is, try and fine tune this and really get it so that it feels like the car. So the whole point of this, as far as we understand, is that you're going to use this as a training tool, so it has to feel exactly like the real thing. No point in being miles off and things being in the wrong position.
Because firstly, I'm noticing it's left-hand drive, which I've never had a simulator. We've had a few in the past, but I'll be honest, they were kind of toys that didn't really, to me, and I know some of you guys might have tried out simulators if you're drifters or racer drivers, and they don't feel identical. And then I was looking at Connor Falvey using his, and his looked exactly in car the same way it was. So I guess that's where you guys come in, is that it's not just about buying the gear, it's about knowing how to use it, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's, buying the stuff, buying the right gear is obviously important, but it's all in the setup. And same with a race car or a drift car. You know, out of the box, it's only going to be 70-80% there. It's all about
we've made so many adjustments to the Supra in the 4 or 5 events we've done. That's why you buy all these adjustable arms and these different suspension setups. And it's amazing how the car feels different. So this is mad, because I was just looking at it here going, it's exactly the way my gearbox and handbrake are. This is where I have the Link ECU display, which is almost identically just on the column there. And then you got the holes. I didn't even notice the screen. There's computers up high. What's going on here?
Yeah, it's just so it keeps the cables tidy, so you don't have it on the ground. It's not sucking up dust. It looks cool as well.
Also very cool looking. I don't know what's going on in there.
That's really department.
Cool.
I don't know what's going on there either.
And then just for an extra bit of immersion, then we've given you a VR headset as well, just to give you the proper movement of the head and everything inside. But
yeah, because sometimes I find there's a pro and con. I've used them both before, and I'm a casual sim user. This is much more, you get less fatigue, because you don't have as much. The VR can be quite tiring, but then the VR gives you that sensation of speed. So it's kind of, you can use a little bit of both. Oh man, this looks unbelievable. Now, our plan is to put this up in the office, so there must be a reason that it's down here set up first, right?
Yeah, so really what we need to try and do now is go and take some measurements from the Supra and get this as close as humanly possible to that car.
Attention to detail is everything, right? You guys are all about that.
Yeah.
And it just looks, there's so many buttons, I want to know what they all do. But anyway, Josh, let's get these guys measured all up, and then we get it upstairs, and then we can turn it on and see what it does. Because should be doing work, but this is actually technically I'm a professional driver now. So this is my work. Josh, I'm gone for the day, I'm doing some work. This is unbelievable.
It was 580, bottom of wheel 640.
Kind of feel where it is.
Need to come down.
well, was that to the end of the seat, or was that?
Walking through, breathe. Heavy breathing.
Gary played.
Well done.
It's under pressure. You don't want to know what's going on in there. Alright, so the boys have been setting it up for the last couple of hours because it's a bit of kit. It takes a little bit of time. I'm just going to show you before we get into the technical stuff. This is like beyond. This switch panel has the exact same button layout on the PMU on the Supra, which I'm sure was a very painstakingly horrible job, Rob.
Took a little bit of time.
So on the Supra, this is anti-lag start. This is actually underglow. This is my front lights. This is how I start the car. So everything is the same in the game. It's like even you get into the habit of starting the car the way you start the car. If you stall it, you've got that down. So that's just mind-blowing to me.
It goes one step further, Dave. You know the high boost and low boost, but it goes from 1,000 horsepower to 700 horsepower?
It's on there.
You got that on there?
I hate that button because you never know. You're like, do I want that? Oh. And then you sit in the line and go, nah, that's way too much. Anyway, so a couple of differences, as you guys explained. There's like a couple of things we need to work on.
Yep.
One is this area.
So yeah, so in the Supra, the distance between here and here is much closer. So we know we've got to move this for starters. We've got to move the handbrake onto the rail here. We've got to move the whole mechanism down, and then we've got to create another mounting bracket for this for the shifter. So we need to come into about 120. So this needs to be right here.
But from a seating position, this is, you've taken the measurements from the Supra.
Yeah.
And I'm now going to sit in it and see if it feels like the Supra, which is, I'm excited because let's see, it's awkward, which is the Supra is awkward. that is uncanny. It feels, yeah, that's exactly the way it is. My knee, so when you're taller in drift cars, which is, everyone says they want to be tall all their life until they go drifting, and then realize every Japanese car and every car is tiny. But I have basically this space, my hand space, between fully compressing the clutch and coming off it, and I can't go any lower on the seat because the floor can't go any higher because I hit the cage, so that's just the way it is. So it's really weird how I'm not setting this up to be the most comfortable thing in the world. I'm setting it up to replicate the car, but it feels, even the way I can see the screen through the steering wheel is exactly like the Link ECU setup on the car, and this is just wild.
So one of the things though, Dave, that we did notice straight away was the pedals, because your pedals in the car are top mounted. Whereas on the sim here, they're base mounted. The pivot point is completely different, obviously, so they're going to feel different. You haven't got as much travel on the pedals, so we're going to change the angle of these pedals as well, so that you don't have to roll your foot over as much to try and compensate for the way that they are mounted. So that's the next thing to do there. That should help with the way the pedals feel.
And just to let you know about replicating the pedals in the Supra, we explained to the guys earlier that because the Supra was originally automatic, the clutch pedal is from a E92 BMW, the brake pedal is from a Supra, and then the accelerator is from a K11 Micra, because it was fitted perfectly on the pivot point. So very hard to replicate that. This is a problem now. I have no excuses now. Everyone's going to be like, wait, he has the Sim, he has the Solstice, he must be great. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, you just got to put in the hours now.
That's the easy bit. Building it for me was the hard bit. That's why you guys come in, and all this is very... I mean, for me, I'm old school. I like the mechanical stuff. Sometimes the sim can feel a little bit like too complicated, but you guys are making it so simplified with everything that it's going to be brilliant. I can't wait. So while we're getting the sim all set it up, is that a word? I don't even know. It's been a long week. Oh, here we are. Here's Johnny DIY. So while the construction continues in the warehouse, boys, the sim consultants have got our sim ready. Our personal car is not quite designed just yet, so we're going to use Calais Rovanpera's Supra for the minute, just to test it out, see if it's working. Look at this. I know it took time. Drift Games logo on the screen. That's super cool. Now I'm going to go and be terrible for a little while, Ronan. So you've set it up to a certain extent, but we're going to tweak it up. But
yeah, so we've got a relatively decent gear ratio by my limited amount of sim drifting, so we'll see what it feels like to you, because you're going to be the one that knows more about your actual car.
Well, the thing is, I've done more real driving, you've done more sim driving. We're going to see how close we are here.
From this angle, it looks incredible.
This is so cool. Even this guy's impressed. See if I can actually make sense. Oh, it feels good.
And we can add more or less depending on how suggested.
Actually feels okay to start with. I'm just a bit jarred because of the...
I hope you get better than that.
Why am I not doing well?
Surprisingly.
Is that not where I'm supposed to go? A bit, the force feedback is probably a little strong.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit... The car would probably not snap as much as that.
I was going to say, Dave, the car in real life is a bit of a handful, so I would say having it a bit of a handful and learning it.
Yeah, learning this is probably a good thing.
Back to pits.
That makes sense. Lovely.
You should really get one of those in your car.
Yeah, I went in the wall. I went in the wall in Germany and I pressed it, but I ended up just staying there with Wayne giving out to me, so it didn't work at all. Short shifting is like the real car. Probably the wrong gear there. The throttle is a little bit delayed maybe compared to the real car. I'm driving it like it's a game.
Yeah.
But I have to get it into my mindset that it's like the car.
Dave, hold it together, one corner left. And a warm one at the end.
Hey!
Incredible, we got that lap first go.
Just first go, there was no takes in that at all. Oh no! That's my own fault. Oh, I'm not giving enough throttle. Oh, on the grass. I used to like spend most of my sim time doing this. Just firing the car into the sky, so I've got to take things much more seriously now. Got thrown out many a lobby for that. But when you drift Mondello so many times, you always have that thing, what if I just ramped that?
I was like, okay.
Yeah, so firstly, I want to thank the sim consultants for building me my dream sim, putting it here in the new Drift Games Clubhouse for not only me but all the boys to enjoy. And this thing is just unbelievable. If you're a drifter, this is where you get good. This is where you win events. This is why you can do more laps than anybody. You can do as many laps as you want. And I know you guys are asking, how much does it all cost? So that's like building a drift car. There's so many different components, so many different things, but that's why they're the sim consultants, because you can go there with a budget and they'll build it for whether you're racing, rallying, drifting, whatever. Like something like this is probably going to run you around about 20,000 euro. Now, that sounds mental, right? You go, that's lots of money. But then when you think about it, to me, that's 5 weekends of drifting if it was costing me $4,000 a weekend. If you're in a proper car, that's what's going to cost you. So to think that for 5 weekends drifting, you can drift every single day, it doesn't look like bad value. Now they'll go all the way down to like a minimum, like say like $6,000 or so, 5 or 6 grand for something a little bit more basic than this, and maybe you don't need all this, but they'll be able to build it from there to the sun, moon and the stars, whatever you need. And the most important thing is that if you are taking your drifting seriously, or if you can't afford a drift car, this is a one-time only deal. So you buy it once. When you buy a 20 grand drift car, it starts spending money then. So this is, if you want to spend one amount of money and do more drifting than I've ever done in my life, you can just do this, and it feels very, very similar. And also, it costs a lot less than traveling to all these tracks and buying all these cars. I'm going to be honest, this is quite an easy thing to do every day to get your skills up before you actually go to the track. And I know, Ronan, you've been doing that, practicing here before you buy a real car. Yep. And go and, spin around and crash. You actually get there and you're hopefully going to be really, really good when you get there, which we showed earlier from Connor Falvey.
Reset button in real life.
Yeah, and again, if you want any like this, the kind of we're going to see over the next couple of months, we're going to see if this is the difference that I've been missing in my driving for the last 10 years, the actual practice, the day-by-day stuff. And we're obviously going to be dialing a lot more into this sim over the next couple of weeks, which I'm really excited about. We've got some tweaks to make with the handbrake and stuff, but look how cool it looks. I'm pretty chuffed. I don't think anybody's be going home early from the clubhouse now, because the minute I go, someone else is going to be here until like 12 o'clock. So awesome job, guys. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. And hopefully I've got some practice in and I'm a little bit better than I was there. So this is super pumped on it. So, right, sim is in, room's looking good. Then we've got to move on to some more building.